All right, it's the 22nd of April. It's a Tuesday, and we've got about 30 minutes to the NY Open. We'll go to the charts in a second. Okay, let's start with the calendar. No news today, no news this week, right? The reason I do this is the process that I follow. I always start with the calendar, have a look at it, even though I know what's likely happening during the week. I still go through the process of everything that I do. It's a process that I follow. It's prep work, right? And if you're a trader, that's something if you are a trader, if you're a session trader, especially if you're a session trader and you trade a particular session, you need to have a process, right? And it can start however you want to start it, but it has to be a process that you follow every single day for the session that you trade. Okay, so let's look at the daily. Let's go up a time frame, look at the weekly, what's happening. Right, now it's the second day of the week, and we've already moved 1,600 and let's say 1,670 pips, and we've tapped 3,500. Now, we've been speaking about this move for the last 3 weeks, right? So we've finally got there. Took about 3 weeks to get there. I think we spoke about it somewhere here. If you watch the stream somewhere here, I think when this bull candle formed, this daily candle formed, we said we're going to be heading above these highs and going to be heading to 3,500 because uh, because of the tariffs, right? And the moment there is some sort of negotiation or some sort of terms being put up for the tariffs, then you'll see more stability in the markets, and then the gold prices will start to go down. But until there is uncertainty in the markets, gold will keep on rising. The gold prices will keep going up, right? Now we've tapped 3,500. I don't know what's next. Could it be uh, 4,000? Could it be 3,700, 3,700, 4,000? It's possible. There's nothing to the left. We've been at all-time highs for a very long time, right? So price can continue to go up. Now, we have a new SR level here, 3329. There were these previous levels, 3286, 3244, and we have a new level at 3329. The reason for that level is because that's where the weekly candles stopped. There is also a daily tap there. Yesterday we tapped that level and we pushed up from it. So 3329. Now I would like to see at least one or two more taps at these levels at 3329, 3286, 3244 for them to become permanent levels. We already have two taps here, so I think this is fine. 3244 is fine, but I'd like to see another tap here at this level and even at this level here, 3167, right? When price comes down. Now, is price going to come down anytime soon? I don't think so, right? We're going to probably have small pullbacks and we're going to just keep continuing higher because there's a lot of uncertainty around the tariffs, okay? So on the weekly and the daily, we're still bullish, but we've tapped 3,500. So this could be a retracement or it could be a pullback. We're going to look at the lower time frames and see if we have sells or buys during the first 2 hours of the session today, right? Let's go to our trading chart. Now, before we do the zones, I always do a recap of what happened. Now, we were waiting for a 30-minute support had formed in pre-NY. If you were here on the streams yesterday, you would have heard me say all of this. The 30-minute support did form in pre-NY, so we didn't need it to form again. We were looking for a 15-minute candle pullback, right? And price did pull back to this level, 3,400, right? That was the level. Yeah, 3,400, but we didn't get entry. I had placed a pending order there on the 1 minute time frame. If you go look at the stream, you'll see that. I placed a pending order here and one at the London high. Price didn't pull back enough, and I didn't get a trade, and we didn't go. Now, uh, this was the, if you look at the 15 minute, this low broke this low, and this low broke this low by 1 pip. There is a pip difference here, right? This low is 1 pip lower than this low, right? So there are two M15 breaks there. So if you draw the fib from the high to the low, because you don't need M30 support to form again, or M30 support is already formed in pre-NY, so we don't need it to happen again. So we're looking for two previous M15 low breaks, and then this was the trade, and it went all the way up, and it went and tapped 3,500. Now, I think I ended the stream somewhere here. When price dipped back in to this area to 3307.88, I did take a buy, right? That was off stream. I did take a buy, stop loss under there. It was about 95 to 100, almost 100 pip stop loss, and it did go back to this level. This was the level I was targeting. That was about a 200 pip move. I did get out at about 200 pips there. Entry was a little below this, I think. I looked at the 1 minute time frame. Soon as we saw a bull candle form, let's take a look at them on the 1 minute time frame. This is 1630. Yeah, this is 1645. Let's look at it in the 1 minute. Yeah, this candle right here. Remember this candle. Soon as this candle dipped, started breaking the high, I took a trade here on the 1 minute. Yeah, yeah, this was the candle, and yeah, somewhere here I got in, and I got out somewhere there. It's about 205, 200, yeah, about 205 pips I got out, right? Because we were very bullish. I'd given these TP levels before the session ended. I gave these TP levels. I said 33418, sorry, 3418, 3427, 3437, and then 3,500. Those are the TP levels that I gave, and we hit all of them, right? So price had stopped here before it hit 3,427 and pulled back, and that's when I took the entry here to get out at 3,427, right? I got out a little higher than that. I think 3,428 or something. I think I got off. Yeah, 3,428 or 3,429. I don't remember. Um, but price did. I didn't want to hold my trade any longer because we started pulling back. So I closed out everything because price had already moved at this point. We had already moved over 1,000 pips, right? So they're trying to hold for further over 1,000 pips in a single day. It can happen, but it's very unlikely, right? So that is why when price has already made 1,000 pips here, at this point I closed the trade. Okay. Now let's get rid of all of this and start. Okay. We do have supply today. So let's start with that. Right? We have a rally and we have a drop. Let's start there. It's good to see some supply on the chart after a long time. Okay. So I'm looking for the base, and this would be that base, a rally, two base in candles, and the drop. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame as well. Yeah, I think we can come a little further down. That's better, right? Yeah, that's better. These all would be base in candles, and then this would be the drop, and then we continued down. Let's put the numbers on that. 059, 012. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Then in terms of demand, we have a new demand level right here. That's pretty straightforward. Rally, two basin candles and a rally. Just a second. Yeah, rally, two basin candles and a rally. Let's put the numbers there. This close is 440. 6. Okay, and let's take a look at this area because we've crossed a BRN. When we do that, we got to take a look at it on the lower time frame. On the 1 hour, there is nothing. Let's look at the 30-minute. Yes, there is a zone there. All right, perfect. This is why it's so important to take a look at um, it on the lower time frame. Okay, I'm going to bring this here because this would be the rally. Yeah, the base would start here. Yeah, we're gonna have to extend this further up all the way here. So all basin candles, they're all stacked up against each other. That row there, that's a leg in. That's the first basin candle because that has more collective wick than body, and so do these candles. And then we have again these candles stacked up against each other and all the way going there. So that's one base, and that's another base just below it, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, and then just above it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles, and then this is the leg out, right? That makes more sense. 4, 5, 3, low 5, 1, 4, 5, 3. We'll just extend these to the right. To cover a decent area if you do come. Yeah, that's good. 700 pips is good enough. Now, 1,000 pip candles have become the norm now on gold, which is amazing. But it's just that your stop losses are going to be a little bit wider, so you have to manage risk better. That's all you have to do, right? You can have a wide stop loss at the beginning, but you learn to manage risk based off support or resistance levels, or however you do manage risk. You learn to manage risk. I use support or resistance. I use previous candle highs, previous candle lows, or support resistance levels, lower time frame support resistance levels to manage risk, right? Key areas. You can call them key areas. All right, so we have a 30-minute demand level here. And we have a 4-hour zone here. Okay, and we have 4-hour supply. We have 4-hour supply there because it's visible on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. All right. Still have plenty of time. All right, now let's take a look at this. We have 3 new zones here. We have a 30-minute demand zone, a 4-hour supply zone, and then a 4-hour demand zone. 2 demand zones and 1 supply zone. So let's start with this. Start with demand. Let's check if they're high liquidity zones, right? Let's go down to the 30-minute time frame. Has this taken out anything? No, it hasn't. This zone hasn't taken out anything to the left. There is nothing, right? There's nothing here. It just pushed up. We created the zone and continued to push up. It didn't take out anything to the left. So this is not a high liquidity zone. Let's look at the low zone below, right? So yes, there is a high here. Yeah, so there is supply here, a rally base and a drop that was taken out, and there's also some highs here that was taken out by this move up, so making this a high liquidity zone. Okay, let's check this. Have we taken out anything? The supply, this high hasn't been taken out yet, but price has taken out this low here. We have a rally, 4 basin candles and a rally, and that is demand, and price came down and took that up, took out that low, that zone. Rally, 4 basin candles and a rally, right? And price pushed down, took out that. So that's a high liquidity zone. Okay, just a second. Just clean up the chart. Okay, right now we're going to see if there's a high liquidity candle. Now there is a BRN running right through this, so we have to check here because this BRN can push price up, but we want to see if there is a high liquidity candle there as well. Doesn't look like there is one, but we need to check nevertheless. We're looking for the largest bull candle in here. It's just that. It's just this candle, 130 pip candle, 157 pip candle. Yeah. Let's look at the 5-minute. It's 162 pip move up. Yeah. 89. Let's use the 15-minute candle. 50. Yeah. 328, 768. Price is reacting to the BRN right now and trying to push back up. We've created 30-minute support. Okay. Let's look further on. If price happens to drop, because this candle has no bottom wick, if price continues to drop, where is it going to come to? Is there a liquidity candle in here? On the 1 hour, there is this candle, which is a 220 pip candle. That is smaller. Let's start with that. Let's go to 30-minute. Hmm. Yeah, I think 30 minute is good. Yeah, 30 minute is good. 675514. 675 5.14. Okay, so we have two liquidity candles there, right? And price is pushing up already. Pre and Y session, we've created 30-minute support, and we are trying to push back up. It's good. Um, okay, up here. Let's see if price comes here. Is there a liquidity candle to push price back down? There is that big candle. Let's start with that. That's a 1 hour candle. 175. 75. Let's go with the 50-minute candle. 012262. Just a second. Okay. All right. Now, let me just zoom out. You can see my chart. So, three new zones, one supply zone, a 4 hour supply zone. It's a high liquidity zone, and we have a high liquidity candle in there. And we've tapped 3,500, and we've pushed down back to the EMAs and to the BRN and to a liquidity candle. Right there, we have a 30-minute demand zone and a liquidity candle. Below that, we have a new 4 hour demand zone and a liquidity candle, and there's an EMA there, right? So these are, the reason I mentioned this is because everything that I mentioned are liquidity levels, right? It's based off these 5 liquidity levels, right? Okay, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then we're going to take a look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions, so we have a better idea of what price could possibly do in the first couple of hours of the NY session, right? Um, yeah, yeah. So I think once we take a look at that, then we'll have an idea of what to do in the session. Okay, so I'm going to keep this like this. Let me just save this. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right, let's go to the 50-minute time frame. Okay, that's the market open. Price opened at the market opened at 3425.25 roughly, or 3525.5, right? That's the market open. Yeah. Okay, Asian session, we moved 820 pips. Let's check if there was news see what news came up. Nothing major, the usual stuff. Oh, nothing major. Yeah, so we had an 800 plus 820 pip move Asian session, and in the London session, we retraced part of it, 560 pips, 550. So 820, 550, right? 820 in the Asian, 550 in the London session. Okay, now let's take a closer look at this. We were bullish yesterday, right? We bounced off 3,400, right? That was the first entry that I had on the streams. That didn't get triggered, and prices pushing up. Then it ranged a bit, and it continued to push up because we were very bullish. There was no supply. If you remember, if you hear on the streams yesterday, there was absolutely no supply yesterday, just demand zone. So price did push up, continued to push up, and we were very bullish, right? On the way up, it created a liquidity candle here, and came a couple of times into it, once, then twice, and then came a third time to the liquidity candle and to the EMA, and that's when it pushed up straight up 800 pips, closed above 3,450. Let's just zoom in, closed above 3,450. It came the third time to the liquidity candle, and it tapped the EMA, closed above 3,450, ranged a bit, continued straight up, right? Another 450 pips. Okay, pushed down a bit, ranged a little bit. We created the Asian high there, closed above the Asian high, tapped 3,500, immediately closed back below, formed 30-minute resistance, right? So the Asian high was too expensive. Okay, the Asian high was too expensive. The London high was obviously too expensive. That was 3,500. We tapped it close below. We closed below the Asian high. That's a 30-minute resistance and a tradable 30-minute candle close in the London session. That's a trade that you can take down here. If you trade the London session, 390 pips back to the next liquidity level, which is the liquidity candle or the EMA or 3450. They're all in the same area. That's a perfect trade, right? 30-minute resistance has formed, and also that's a 30-minute back candle close, tradable back candle close. Okay, so let's see what could possibly happen now. We came, tapped the liquidity candle. This liquidity candle for the first time inside the London session. It's a 156 pip candle. We've crossed the 50% mark. Yeah, we're going to go through this. This was created in the London session. We tapped it in the London session. Price does not need to come back up to tap it again. Even though I'd like to see price come up and take sells to come down. But we could go through this level. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for 30-minute resistance to form. Obviously, I'm not going to take a trade here. 30-minute resistance forms because this is a liquidity candle. Wait for a pullback. 30-minute resistance form. Now, a pullback, what I'd like to see is above this. A pullback above this, right? To take sells to come down to go through this, right? But we can also take buys because price has created support. We can take buys. This one broke this low, this broke this low. Yeah, we can take buys here. This is low. 829, and this low is 831. Yeah, but we've already tapped the minimum. Yeah, we're going to go up here. I'm going to take a buy here. I'm going to take a buy here. I'm taking a buy here. Taking a buy. It's about 60 pips. Yeah, it's taking a buy here. 5-minute candle is just about to close. Should close bullish. I've taken a buy. If it comes deep, I'll take another buy because we've formed 30-minute support. And there are two M15 lows being taken out. And I'm anticipating price to come here, further up. Should be coming up to 3467, 3467, 3468. That's a 80 pip. That's decent. 80 pips is good. If you come further down, I'll take another trade. This high, yeah, maybe. Yeah, took another one there. Might range here a bit before we push up. This low is 829. This low is 831. Yeah. 457, 829. 57829. Okay. 3465. It's about 70 pips. Yeah. 3465, 3473, or 3467 and 3473, right? Now, how are you going to manage risk on this? Just wait. 30-minute support is formed. Yeah, should be good. Okay, let's see how we're going to manage risk on this trade. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to manage risk. Obviously, I'm not going to hold a 160 pip drawdown. So here's how we're going to manage risk. 3450. Candle closed above, closed back below, immediately closed above, right? 3450. This open as 3449. Okay, so let's put a level here. 49. 3449. If a candle closes below a 50, if price breaks that low, then I'm going to close a couple of my positions. If a 15-minute candle closes below it, then I'll close everything, right? That's how I'm going to manage risk on this trade. I'm anticipating a move up towards 3473. It's about 189 pips if you get there. 190 pips if you get there. Here's how I'm going to manage risk at. Right here. 3449. We stayed above it. One candle closed below, the next candle immediately closed back above, right? So if we break that low, then I'm going to close a couple of these positions, probably keep this one, and if we break the low, if we close below, if a 15-minute candle closes below 3449, then the setup is no longer valid. I close everything, then we wait for maybe 30-minute support to form again to take the buys to go up, or we wait for price to break this and continue down, right? But I'm anticipating a pullback. If you look at the 4-hour, yeah, the 4 hours have stayed above 3450. That's a clean level. Let's go to the 1 hour. We've closed the doji. 1 hour, we are closed 2 dojis. One coming down. Well, this is not a doji. This is a tradable candle. This is a clear rejection. But this one, we formed 1 hour support here, just above 34550. Let's see if we can break this high. If we break the 1 hour high, then we should continue up. This high is, yeah, 61.25. Here, this one here. This is the 1 hour high. If you break this, we should be good. We should push up. There is no top wick here. So we should be going past it. That is why probably going to, yeah. 3465, 3467, 3473. We're coming deeper. Prices should come deeper. Anyway, we've got 3449 here. We make that red so it's visible. Okay, that's the level, right? So this is not, the stop loss is not down here. It's not a 200 pip stop loss. This is the area, 3449. If you break this low, you got to learn to manage. So these levels, the reason I put these levels in, there is a reason based off price action why I put those levels. And once we break that low or that high, you got to manage risk at it, right? And if you close below it, if you're in a buy and you close below it, then you got to close everything. If you're in sells, there will be levels like that as well. If you break the high, then you manage risk on the sells, and if you close above that line, then you close everything. Right? And that line, I explained clearly why that line is there, because we have nothing to the left because that's all-time highs, that's fine, but here we have price closed above, stayed above, right? 3449. And then close below 3449, immediately close back above 3449. Stayed above, tapped 3449, tapped it again, formed support here, 30-minute support was formed here. After it, tapped it once again, and we closed a bull candle. So if we close below 3449, this trade is not valid. If we break 3449, you have to manage risk. Straightforward, right? Now we've tapped the to me price is ranging, right? You can see how the EMAs are starting to flatline, right? We're going sideways. We're no longer prices above them. It's not way above them. We're at them, right? So as soon as price comes to them and it stagnates there for a while or stays there at that level for a while, you can see this red line and you can see this gray line start to flatline. They go sideways, right? That tells you price is ranging. So price can pull back. That's what I'm hoping. Price will pull back, create 30-minute resistance, and push further down to this area because we've clearly rejected 3,500. Right? That's a significant level. We've been speaking about 3,500 for a while, right? So we have rejected it. Now, this trade may not work, but we have a area where we're going to get out. We're not going to wait till these lows break and the liquidity candle breaks. We're not going to do any of that. We have a level here, 3449, right? That's where we're going to manage risk. So you try to get the best entry, and even if you don't get the best entry, you still find a logical way based off price action, based off something that you can follow every day to manage risk. You have to. That's the most important thing once you get into a trade. Let's see if you can push up and break the 1 hour high. This is the 1 hour high right here. This candle high. This candle high is 34.6125, right? 34.6125. If you break that high, we should push into this range. We should go above that high. And that would be about 115 pip on that trade. Let's see if then if we get to 3465, I'll probably bring my stops to break even and hold this trade, close these two, and maybe hold this one at stops at break even. But we need to break this high. A 15-minute candle needs to close above this, which hasn't happened in the past, right? You can see a 15-minute candle closed above, just like here. 15-minute candle closed above, closed back below. So we need a 15-minute candle to close above, let's say, 345850, right? 345850, 15-minute candle closes above it, we're good. But we have a long time for the 15-minute candle to close. So price can push up, create a top wick, and come all the way down. Price is ranging, so price can go up and down. It doesn't matter. That is why we have an area that we're going to manage risk at. Let's see if we break the high. Now the reason I took the trade was very clear. 30-minute support had formed pre-NY. The M15 fib was drawn based on two previous M15 low breaks. 1 second, sorry. Did this low break this? 266. Low is 285. Oh yeah. Broke this. This should be here. This candle closed here. What time did this open? 15. Yeah, we're coming up. We broke the high. We're going up towards TP1. Move this up here. 6, 7. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, we're running now. That's good. But this candle opened at 15. Sorry, 1 second. Opened at 15. No, so it's sorry. I've drawn it correctly. This is the way. Because this candle is the open. You can't consider this. This is the open of was the candle close. Yeah, we closed here. Then this was the 2M15 low breaks, not that. That candle hadn't closed yet. Yeah, 457. 457. Correct. All right, let's see if we can continue to push up. 15. This high is 65.52. Yeah, we should get there. 3465. $50, $60, $105. I'm anticipating sells today. That's what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating sells today. Yeah, 5-minute candle close bullish. 9 minutes more. We're coming to TP1, 3465. We should get there. Oh, just short by 4 pips, 4.5 pips. We are bearish today. We are bearish. Oh man, it's 2 pips. This candle has a long time to close. This 15-minute candle has 8.5 minutes to close. So we could create a top wick and come all the way down again, because this candle has no bottom wick. So you got to be careful. It can come all the way down. We've come to TP1, fell short by a couple of pips, and now it's trying to push back down. Yeah, this candle can turn bearish, but I'm expecting price to head to 3467. Let's see. The issue is that this candle has no bottom wick. So the if not this candle, then the next one can come all the way down and break this low. Yeah, 5-minute candle is turning bearish. Coming back to this candle, this low, 15-minute low. It's going to push back down. If this 5-minute candle closes bearish, we might need to manage risk. Because if it closes strong bearish like this, we're coming straight down. And there's no need to, yeah, we're pushing down. Let's see if we go back up and close higher, then it's fine. But if we coming straight down, candle broke its own low. So we're pushing back down. It fell short by a couple of pips. Yeah, we're going to have to manage risk on when this 5-minute candle closes. Let's see. I'm going to manage risk on this trade. It's got another minute for the candle to close. Coming down. Yeah. Yeah, I'm closing this because that's a lot of bearish volume. It's a 133 pip 5-minute candle. Let's see if you're going to push back up all the way. No, we're not. I'm closing this trade, right? That's a lot of bearish volume. Close two positions. The candle is closing now, 4 seconds. That's a lot of bearish volume, right? No need to wait down here. That's a lot of bearish volume. I close the trade. I have one position here. Let's wait for the 15-minute candle to close now. It's got about 4. See, that's how you manage risk. So I didn't wait here. So stop loss was this, right? But I got out at what, 30 pips? Yeah, for 50 pips maybe, 40, 50 pips instead of 200 pips. That's how you manage, because it makes no sense. You got a massive 5-minute, 135 pip, 132 pip candle, bear candle close against you, right? There is a lot of volume in this candle. This is the NY open. So price could push back up. It makes no sense to hold those positions up there. So you got to close something. And that's exactly what I did, because price came up. It came to 3465, fell short by 2 pips and rejected, right? That was our first TP level, 3465. That's there for a reason. That's not just a random level there. 3465 is there for a reason. That's 15-minute resistance, right? Clear 15-minute resistance. We're trying to push back down. I'm going to wait for the 15-minute candle to close. If the 15-minute candle closes, that'll be the close of the 30-minute candle as well, right? So if the 30-minute candle closes a bear candle, close everything. That's it. Then the chance, the likelihood of price going up is cut by 50%. So you close everything. It makes no sense to hold the trade. Price can go up. That's fine. You just have to you have to just be patient because there's no point taking sells here when you have 3450 right in front of you. I'm waiting for the 15-minute candle to, the close of the 15-minute candle will be also be the close of the 30-minute candle, right? So 3 minutes more. You just have to wait. I've already closed a couple of positions. Soon as that 5-minute candle, just before the 5-minute candle closed, somewhere here, I closed a couple of positions. We are bearish today. We are bearish today. We just have to, price needs to pull back, take an entry, or has to close below here. We got to break this liquidity candle and then a pullback to take the sells. Mhm. Yeah, it's closing. Seems like we're going to close the back handle. I'm going to close everything, right? Yeah, see that 5-minute, we're pushing down now. Yeah, I'm closing everything. We we broke the low, I'm closing everything. Doesn't make sense to hold, right? You manage risk. You manage risk. Yeah, I lost about 20 pips on that, 24, 25 pips on that trade, on the last trade. And on the previous one, about 50 pips. Now we just have to wait for the 30-minute candle to close, and which is going to close now. Now we have a back candle form, right? Price has closed, is closing against us. No trade, no buys. Yeah, we're pushing down. That was a lot of bearish volume. Yeah, 30-minute candle close, we form resistance. Yeah, we're ranging right now. The market's moving sideways. All of these are in a range, stacked up against each other. There's no buys and there are no sells here. Price needs to break this liquidity candle, pull back to take sells. Or price needs to pull back up, form 30-minute resistance to take sells. It's got an hour and a half. Yeah, we're struggling at 3450. Yeah, for price to push down, a 15-minute candle needs to close below 3450 or 3449 for price to continue further down here. Yeah, that's 100 pip, 119 pip push down. Yeah, it needs a close below here. Once we have a close below here, it should drop. So 40, 45 pip move down. Once we close below 3450, we're good. Price is coming straight down. This candle has no bottom wick. It's the London low. Yeah, we're coming down. Coming down. We're trying to create that top wick on the 30-minute. Come down. You can't take sells here though, because it's got 3450 right in front of you, so you can't take sells here. Yeah, once we break this low, this candle low, this is the one that caused the push up. This low is 48.29, 34.48.29. Once you break this low, we should come down. Yeah, once we break this low, we should come down. Coming here. Then we close below 15-minute candle, close below the London low. We should continue down. Possibly 3438. 3438. That's the end of the liquidity candle. As I said, this liquidity candle has been consumed. We've crossed the 50% mark. I was expecting a pullback higher, but we didn't get it. This is out now. We're coming down 3438. Should come to 3438. 15-minute candle needs to close below this 3449. 4 minutes more. It seems like it's going to close below it. Once it closes, we're good. We're coming down. Possibly coming down here. Yeah. See, this is why price action is so important. When I saw this 133 pip candle, back candle, made no sense. That's a lot of bearish volume to push down. And if I had held it, I would have been in a lot of drawdown. I would have to wait. Okay, I would have taken out my position here. That's a lot of drawdown, right? That is why you got to watch the chart and close when you see volume come building up against you. You're pushing down, pushing down. Yeah, we're coming down 3444 and then 3438. Possibly 3427. Why 3427? That's the next liquidity area. The EMA and the liquidity candle. Very likely coming to the next liquidity candle right here. That's a 1 hour liquidity candle. It's probably where we're coming to. Three four three eight, then 3427. Yeah, 50-minute candle is closing below 3449. Should pull back, create a top wick, and continue down to 3448. Yeah, there we go, 3438. And the next one is, yeah, we should tap 3427. Yeah, 3427. It's unfortunate the 30-minute resistance formed here and not up here. So you can take these cells coming down, but the move is correct. 30-minute resistance form. We're looking for cells. We've tapped 3,500, rejected it. That's a 4-hour back handle. Price to push down, came, grabbed liquidity, and it's pushing back. I thought it'll come a little higher. It's already tapped. I said it already tapped the liquidity candle in the London session, so it doesn't need to do it again. It already tapped it here. So it doesn't need to come back up again, but I thought it'll come at least here to form 30-minute resistance and then push. We came very close to 3465 TP level, and then we just pushed down. We should get 30-minute support should form and price should push higher later on because this is just a drop from midway. So there should be 30-minute support form. Just have to wait for, it might take a while. It might take maybe about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. But wait for 30-minute support to form. Price should come to this liquidity candle. We've broken past this liquidity candle now. Price should come to this liquidity candle or even the BRN, form 30-minute support and then wait for the trade to go back up. That might happen. That might take time. It might take an hour, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. But just be patient and wait. Don't try to chase price here. The sells were up here, but this was demand, so I didn't take any sells here. Yeah, we're heading to 3427. That's the next area. 34. Tap in the liquidity candle in a bit, maybe in about stuff 15 pips away. Tap in the sorry the EMA, and then we should come to the liquidity candle. We've broken past this. Its price needs liquidity to go in the opposite direction, right? So it has to come to a liquidity candle. That's why 3427 is the next area. So 3438, 3427, and then further down would be here 3416. Yeah, we're coming to 3427 now. Just about there. Yeah, tapped it. 3427 tapped. Yeah, the candle is 342698. Yeah, we've tapped 3427. Yeah, we tapped it. If there is volume, then we'll come down to 3416. And if there is more bearish volume, then we'll come down to 3400. That'll be 1,000 pip in the opposite direction for once. Yeah, there is nothing to do. You got to wait for a 30-minute support to form and a tradable 30-minute bull candle to close to take buys. There's nothing to do. You can't take sells. Prices already come down, has moved almost for 400 pips. It's moved 400 pips already, so you can't take sells now, and price is in demand anyway. Just have to wait for, you got to be patient and wait for 30-minute support to form to take buys to go up. Yeah, yeah, we're coming down further. Coming down. We should come past this Asian low. Yeah, the candle might flip bearish, tap 3,400 and then turn bullish again. Just have to be patient and wait. You want to take a trade today? Just be patient. There's no sells, right? Price was in demand. When it created this setup, it was in demand. So you can't take sells. Um, and it didn't pull back. Well, it did pull back just a little bit after the 30-minute resistance was formed. It pulled back a little bit and dropped 300 pips. So you want to take buys, you got to wait. Price is very likely going to get to 3416 and even tap the Asian low and then maybe create support after that. Just have to be patient. But wasn't this important, an important point on managing risk, right? Look how far we dropped after we broke that low, 270 pips. Imagine if I was holding my stop loss at the end of the liquidity candle. That's why you don't do that. Yes, that is the idea. The technical idea is the safest stop loss is under the liquidity candle, but you never leave your stop loss there and just walk away. You got to manage risk. No matter what system you trade, the way I trade, or you trade an indicator, or you whatever way you trade, you got to have a way of managing risk so that your losses are kept smaller than your wins. Right? And then if your losses are kept smaller than your wins, your gains will take care of itself. It'll recover losses very quickly and it'll compound very quickly. It'll keep you in the green longer and faster. Soon as this 5 minute 133 pip candle closed, yeah, that's it. There is prices. It's very likely, it's very unlikely the price is going to go back all the way and break this high. There's a lot of bearish volume. It's a lot of bearish volume. That is why as soon as the candle, even before the candle closed, I just closed the trades here. Yeah, we're pushing down. We're going to head to 3416. 3416 next. I might end the stream soon because I'll come back in about an hour or so and look at the chart. Let's wait for see the yeah. I'm going to wait for the 4-hour candle to close and come back in about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, and take a look at the chart. Right, 30 to 45 minutes. So I'm not going to be here on the stream because it's going to take time. You want to take buys or you want to take another trade, even if it's bearish and you want to take sells, you have to wait for a pullback, 30-minute resistance to form, and a 30-minute tradable back candle to close to take the sells to come down, right? To retest this new low. Okay, so this is all gone now. Right, that's all gone. That zone's gone. Get rid of all of this. Okay. Got to wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Just be patient. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close. We have another hour for the 4-hour candle to close. You want to take buys. Wait for price to come to a liquidity area. We've already tapped the liquidity candle. Wait for 30. It could be here, or it could be even low further inside the liquidity candle, or it could be at the BRN. Right. Wait for 30-minute support to form. A tradable 30-minute bull candle to close, and then wait for a bit of a pullback and take the trade to go up. And your TP levels for that would be here, this 30-minute resistance right here, 3454, right? And then higher. Yeah, those would be your TP areas for now, right? But when candles close, TP areas may change depending on where support and resistance forms. But here there is 30-minute, there's a 30-minute back candle and 30-minute resistance has formed. So that's the closest round number, 3454. Then we have further above that, we have 15-minute resistance level here that we almost came to, 3465, and then one there, 3473. And those were our TP levels when price was on the way up here. Those are the TP levels, but it didn't come there. So if 30-minute support forms and a tradable 30-minute bull candle close, those are our TP levels, 3454, 3465, 3473. If you want to take sells, again, wait for a pullback, 30-minute resistance to form, a tradable 30-minute back candle to close, and then take the sells. And your TP levels are, this already been tapped, you don't need that, 3427 and 3416, and then maybe even 3400, right? Those are your TP levels coming down if it sells. but you have to wait. Right now, there is nothing. Price is in demand. There is no sign of buys at all. The price is bearish. You got to wait for a 30-minute support to form and a 30-minute tradable bull candle to close to take buys. If you want to take sells, wait for a pullback. Right now, we've broken that liquidity candle already, so we got rid of that. Now we've gone across it. So you can wait for a pullback, 30-minute resistance to form, and a tradable 30-minute back candle to close to take sells to come down to these areas, and even up to 3,400. Right? Okay. All right. Yeah, we're still coming down, coming down. We're coming to 3,416. We're bearish today. Price tapped 3,500. We rejected that. We've been speaking about 3,500 for the last 3 weeks. The price is going to get there. It got there, 3,500. This is a pullback. I don't think it's a reversal. This is not a reversal. It's possibly a pullback to continue up because in terms of fundamentals, there are no deals being struck in terms of the tariffs. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. Um, Trump wants to cut rates, interest rates. Um, he's kind of twisting Jerome Powell's hand to do that. Let's see what happens with that, but there is a lot of time for that. That is, interest rate decision is, um, yeah, there is a lot of time for that. That's the second week of, yeah, the second week of May. There is time for that. Yeah, we're flipping bearish. We're coming to the Asian low, 3416. We should tap that. And once we tap that, then wait. Because we could come to 3,400 and then wait for buys, wait for 30-minute support to form and a tradable 30-minute bull candle to close to go up again, right? If you're looking for sells, wait for a pullback, 30-minute resistance to form and a 30-minute tradable back candle to close to take sells, okay? All right, yeah, I'm going to end the stream now. I'll come back to the chart in about 40 minutes and take a look at the charts. Um, I'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Tomorrow we have no news tomorrow either. There's nothing tomorrow. This week there's nothing. This is the last week of the month. There's nothing. There's no news. It's supposed to be a slow week, but because of tariffs, we have a lot of volume. This is possibly going to end up 1,000 pip candle again. 890 pips already. Maybe that's it. Maybe if you continue to push down, could hit 1,000 pips. If you come down here, yeah, if you come down to 3,400, that's another 1,000 pip candle. We had 1,000 pip candle yesterday, so this is normal now. Having 1,000 pip candle, daily candles it's just normal. So yeah, but when you're wrong, you take a trade, and when you're wrong, manage risk. That's the beauty of trading. Got to manage risk, right? Had a huge back candle close. I closed the trade and closed everything. That's it. Okay. Now wait for, yeah, you got to wait. This candle can create a top wick and come back down. You got to wait for 30-minute support to form. It's got to wait 22 minutes more. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow 7:30 a.m. EST. We'll do our prep work, draw zones, and see if we have a setup for the first 2 hours of the NY session. Okay, I've given out a trade idea. I've given out two trade ideas for today, what to look for. From a liquidity level, want to take buys, wait for 30-minute a bull candle to close. So that'll be 30-minute support and a 30-minute tradable bull candle to close to take the buys to go back up to these levels 3454, 3465, 3473, and even high if there's volume to 3482. Okay. For sells, wait. If you're taking sells, want to take sells, wait for confirmation. Right. All this means is you're waiting for confirmation. You're just not buying on the first 5-minute candle or the 15-minute candle, right? Because price can go up, create a top wick, and come all the way down again. So you got to be patient. You just have to wait. For sells again, I don't. I think buys may play out because we've already made the move down. I think buys will play out after price comes to 3416. I think buys will play out. I don't think I'm not too concerned about sells, but if you are looking to take sells, then wait for the pullback, 30-minute resistance to form, a tradable 30-minute back candle to close to take the sells to come down, right, to these TP levels down here. But I think it's going to be buys. Yeah, because price did a pullback and a liquidity grab. Yeah, wait for that liquidity grab to go up. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's this. Just wait. Be patient and wait. Wait for another 20 minutes for the candle to close. All right. See you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Don't overtrade, don't overrisk. This week is meant to be a slow week. It's the last week of the month, right? If you haven't been profitable this month, this week is not the week to go hard and try to, win back all those losses. So be patient. Next week is an NFP week. It's going to be a volume week. The week after that is the federal funds rate and the FOMC. It's going to be a volume week. And the week after that is CPI, PPI, and retail sales. You have 3 big weeks coming up. Just be patient. All right. Take care. See you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST.